Good morning, all. I was just thinking about, do I want to pull a card for this or not? Um, as it would have it, almost every time I come to do a video for you guys, it's like not the length of time that I really appreciate having. But that's okay because I think that's part of the message. The spirit's like, go on and do a video about this. This will help. This will help you. This will help others. Do it. So I'm like, all right. So I only have a few minutes at this moment because then I have a meeting and I'm going to have lots of meetings coming up. So the main message is, well, it's like three-part messages. I'm just gonna give you the three off the bat. So first is we're going to the next level. The challenge levels are going to increase. Here's what you need to know. You're going to make it through it either way. The question is, how are you going to make it through it, and what kind of person are you going to feel like on the other side? Are you going to go through it as honestly and humbly and benevolently as you can? Like, is that going to be your goal? Or are you going to be cutthroat and piratey and, like, have no qualms, like lying your way through it or hiding things and stuff like that? Because it will matter on the other side, and you will be tested. There will be pop quizzes, things like that. And this is like, it feels like, like in video games, right? Where you get through a certain level and then you go to the next level and then the challenge level increases, right? And then you face like a smaller boss. And I think I did some videos about this like years ago too, where like you're meeting you're meeting one of the bigger bosses, but you'll come back to them later or something like that. In any case, like, you keep increasing the challenge level as you go up. And even in like more complex games like D&D or Fable or things like that, like, the more your level increases, the more the level of of your counterpart, so to speak, whether that be somebody on your side or an opponent or the big bosses, like they all increase too. And part of the reason this is there is because it helps us grow, right? But either way, we have a lot of big Saturn energy coming in. That's kind of been waiting. And from what I feel like I understand is that especially when this Mercury retrograde is fully, like when we're out of the post shadow of it, like it's like kick it into gear. You're in the next level. Like if you're going to use the old excuses to try to get out of it or cover it up or not face it, like spirit's going to be like, nope, you need new excuses. You got to lie better, like that sort of thing. But really, the funny irony is, like, those right now who are being tested, like whether that's you or people around you or things like that, those who are going to the next level, whether it's the next level of like benevolence or malevolence or whatever, like each of us call this energy in, like even piratey people who call, like, they're going to be tested on all the things that they've not been accountable for, that they've lied about, that they've done things like that. But the truth is they're calling that energy in. Like, no one's making them do it. Spirit, there's no assertion from spirit. Spirit does what we ask it to. So like a lot of times part of being a pirate is not just being cruel and lacking empathy and things like that for others. It's also this eternal like dialogue and inner monologue about how life is unfair and how do you get a break and how do you, like, oh, I've got all of these problems and challenges and da 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 da. How does it get better? So spirit's like this. You get more benevolent. You get better at doing the things that you called in to do. You break free from situations that aren't good for you. You do, stuff like that. And it's virtually the same thing for those on the benevolent side. Like, if you're saying like, how do I, why isn't this thing that I want in my life here, the money, the house, the relationship, things like that, like spirit's going, because you need to work on this and you need to work on that and you need to do this. Like, if you want those particular things or those particular, timelines with those particular people in the ways that you want it, you got to keep doing the work. Now, for those of you who understood the assignment, I'm going to say years ago, you should be fine. Just keep doing what you've been doing, and face it with faith. Like, I know I can do this. Like in my own personal life, like the stuff like being unhoused and going through all that stuff. And even like now I've got an increased challenge level in that, like, okay, we're housed now. Now I've got a team of resource people that, like, they're there to help me, though I also have to answer to them. I have to prove my merit, right? And I'm okay with that. Like, to me, this is one of those in the past, like years ago, especially before separation with my DM, I wouldn't have had the self-esteem to go, I can do this. I would have shrunk away like a lot of other people would have. But now I'm like, no, I can do it. There's going to be faults and there's going to be flaws and there's going to be times that I stumble, but it'll be okay. Like, that's part of the humanness of it. And I will learn from each thing. And every brick that's tossed in my path, just like it has in my past, I will learn either to step around them or I will use them to help build up what I need in order to be able to do what I want to do and do what I need to do, things like that, right? Now, the other short part of it is it also, this level, I'm kind of calling it the laws of love. I almost call it like the book of love, but it's not. We're in a very, like, it is Empress and Emperor energy, but it's much more Empressy energy, and it's that, the laws of love. And this is one of those to where, like, part of the advanced challenges are that there are going to be certain things going on that will really test your ability to still appreciate and love people in your life, because, especially if they've been in that victim-y energy or wrapped up in toxic pirate dynamics, things like that, it's kind of like, as they call in their own exit from said situations, and as they grow, they're likely going to first sink into it more. You got to be the one to have the consciousness that remains in the space, not of, I'm going to accept this, or, oh, well, I know one day they'll be better, so I'm just going to let it go. But in a space of, like, that it's not just they're always going to stay that way. That it's not that they're going to, like, never get better. You understand that it's not always going to hurt. And you're standing in, it's funny. Oh, what is it? There was a quote earlier that fits in this one. It's like, there's the only people who want power want to do something negative with it, because love is enough to do anything that you want to do, right? And that's like, parental love, familial love, romantic love, all of it. You don't have to have power to do most things, and love in and of itself is sort of a power, but it's also not, because it's like sand. Yeah, you can, sand is a little more tangible, but you could pick it up, but it just falls out of your hands, right? You have to have a lot of, like, even when we try to pick it up with machines and stuff, like, it still all falls out. Like, it's, it's foolish to try to use it as a power. I think that's where a lot of pirates misunderstand relationships and things of that nature. In any case, since I gotta go soon, the other message is there's no crying in baseball. And I think a big part of it is this energy of, like, there is room for emotions and various things. However, this isn't a time, like, if you really feel like you need to cry, okay, stop and take a cry. However, if you really want these adventures and these quests and you want to align with the timelines that you want, you got to kind of get into that space of, like, there's no crying in baseball. Like, it's from the movie A League of Their Own. And, like, yes, you're probably going to have to step into roles that you, like, you maybe that you really, really wanted, but it's a little harder than you expected it to be. Or it might be that you build up something and then are told, well, now we have who we need, and so you're no longer necessary, and you got to find a way to still be necessary and relevant. But mostly, I think it's just about a sense of, like, don't get caught in that victim-y mindset of, like, like, you're getting to do things that other people have, not been able to manifest yet, because they've not gotten their mindsets in that space yet where they can accept the goodness and the gifts. You've gotten there. Like, yeah, have your emotions and have those moments of, like, this is really tough, but otherwise, there's no crying in baseball. You got this. Pick up that ball, pick up that glove, pick up that bat, and play. All right, I'll get back on and talk about more of this another time. But until then, thank you for coming to my video, and I'll see you in the next one.